Hi guys, it's Haley, and I'm going to show you exactly how I took this red faded demi color into this gorgeous blonde. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to take a look at my canvas. I have a natural 6 or 7 root and then a level 7 on the ends. And this is also processed hair, so I'm making sure I'm prepping with K18 and being very low and slow with my bleach. So I'm actually using 10 volume here. I'm doing a teased baby light, and I'm clipping away those teases with a little like metal clip there. And I'm going to go in and place my foil. And you can't really see on this video, but I am kind of feathering into her natural root because, as we all know, that natural 6-7 root is going to lift like a level 10. Those ends are probably going to stay at a level 8 or so. So I am saturating the entire strand of hair in the foil because I did prep with K18. I'm not worried about the damage. And this is basically what I'm doing in every single foil. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to place all of these on the head because I am going to try to really heavily highlight her. I start in the back, and I personally start at the nape of the neck, and I do low and slow. So right here I'm probably starting at about 5 volume and doing those teased baby lights, and I'm doing I think 3, and then before I go into my next section and take more hair, I'm going to do a tip out of this section because I don't want to wait until the end and have those tip outs not process at the same rate as my foils are processing. And the bottom of this hair right here is so dark because it didn't have any highlights originally, so it didn't really fade. So the red is very heavy on this bottom section of the head. The first tip out I did not weave beforehand. So I did a straight tease, which basically means that the ends of her hair, which don't have those short pieces that I pushed up in the tease, are going to be solid blonde. And that is exactly what I want. When I do weave beforehand, there is going to be this darker color that's left out, and I am going to do it in some of these sections. I believe each quadrant that I did a tip out in, I alternated between just teasing and then weaving before I teased, because I did want to keep a little bit of dimension at the ends because I didn't want it to be like super, super solid. But in that same token, I did want it to be very blonde. I wanted to get rid of a majority of this red. So in these sections, I could go and low light or neutralize in between these highlights before I tip out and like really neutralize that warmth in that mid shaft. But this is where your consultation comes in. I really talked to my client about it. I kind of explained that like, hey, if I neutralize this, it might look a little darker. And honestly, this color had already faded so much that I was very much convinced that it would fade more. And she was completely fine with the warmth. She was already copper and she was just kind of sick of it, but she didn't mind the warmth on her normal blonde anyways. Another big thing about a service like this is you're going to want to be really upfront about the pricing and whether or not they might need more than one session. I'm a firm believer in under-promising and over-delivering. So for a service like this, I will very much say, hey, we might have to do a second session and I'll foil my butt out and we might look great. Now for all my front foils, I'm doing angled back sections. I'm kind of following the hairline mostly, and these are kind of my face frame foils, so I am doing them a little bit closer together. And as you see here, I'm making like very big panely sections almost because I really just want to have a lot of coverage even though I am following that hairline and doing angled. I just want to make sure that I'm really giving a lot of blonde towards that face frame. I feel like this is the perfect time to shout out my Frame Art highlighting combs. I love you. This is literally, I use you every single day. I love how cohesive they are. I don't care if it's cheating. I won't have carpal tunnel in 20 years. So anywho, as I get to this back section, you'll kind of start to see me teasing these foils instead of just baby lighting them like I'm doing right now. I am doing that because I kind of want to give a cohesive blend into that back quadrant that has a lot of teasing, but I obviously want to keep a lot of brightness towards the front of the face. I'm starting to over direct all of these leave out hairs to the front and give it a good tease. Kind of doing a little bit of balayage surface painting on these tip out sections just so they don't have any harsh lines. I haven't even finished the top quadrant of her head and I already had to pull these back foils, but because I'm a good hairstylist and I don't fry my client's hair off, I stop the service and I go and I pull these foils and I'm going through and I'm also combing out these teases because I really wanted to see what this blend was looking like. I wanted to see what the vibe was and honestly how the lift was. I feel like everyone is so afraid of teasing because they don't want to hurt their clients when they're like combing it out. But I've never had an issue. I've never had anyone complain and I literally tell them to yell at me if I'm hurting them. I go through and I shampoo with Matrix and Secure at the bowl, and then I do a light leave-in conditioner normally, and I kind of just spray it all over the hair, not just at the teases. And then again, I just brush from the ends and I go up the hair and I never have any problems. Okay, now that we're done with that, I am back in the front quadrant of the head and I'm doing this top section. I hate mohawking for the life of me. I know all of you would probably say, just mohawk this last session. I do not want to. I hate it. I feel like it looks so stripy, so chunky, and I can personally never do it right. I don't feel like it looks bad on everyone else, but I just cannot personally get around to doing it. I love foiling horizontally. I love doing it where I can see how it's naturally going to fall from the part, especially people have middle parts. Something about it, I just love doing it this way. At this point in the video, I've been very repetitive. You guys already know what I'm doing. I've been baby lighting, I've been teasing, I've been tipping out in between each quadrant, and now I'm doing the money pieces, which is basically the same thing, but the only section that I'm really not doing horizontally from the part, I'm doing the money pieces obviously in front of her face because I want those to obviously connect across the part. In this money piece section, her hair was a little bit less red, but because I was using such a light developer on it, I did saturate the entirety of her hair in that foil. And finally, we are getting to the top and final section of this hair. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am taking a lot finer pieces on this top section of the hair. I always tend to do that because on the top section of the hair, I really want to make sure it's as seamless of a blend as I can be. And that's exactly why I'm going through and I'm pinning back the teases like how I was doing in the back, because I don't want the teases to get bleach on them, because I want the teases to help ensure that blend. Now on the very, very, very top of her head, I'm doing a zigzag part right on her part line because she does wear her hair in the middle. I want to make sure that she won't have any awkward foil lines or anything. And also, if she doesn't wear her hair in the exact same part that I'm doing it in, it won't be weird, So it kind of like over directs some of the hair. So when you bring it back to its natural part, it kind of has a nice diffuse line to it. I love this hack. After she's done processing, we rinse her where we're looking at pretty warm highlighted hair on top and very solid blonde ends. Screenshot for the formula, and here is a reminder of our before, and this is our after. Shut up.